You guys, buckle up, because the internet is absolutely losing its mind right now. Billie Eilish has finally broken her silence on those shocking text messages with Drake that had fans questioning everything, and trust me, her response is way more dramatic than anyone could have predicted. But wait, that's not all. Over in another corner of the music world, Tomlinson just went OFF in an interview so heated. Fans are calling it one of the most explosive celebrity clapbacks of the year. Now, picture this: two of music's biggest stars, caught in the middle of messy scandals. Billie, trying to defend herself against whispers of betrayal and manipulation, while Drake's name is being dragged through the mud, and Louis, who just couldn't hold back when the interviewer pushed one button too many. Emotions ran high, accusations were flying, and the fandoms completely divided. We're talking late-night cryptic posts, friends jumping in to take sides, and even rumors that some family members are stepping into the drama. Fans are shocked, insiders are spilling, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. And trust me, the story only gets crazier from here. When the story first broke, fans thought it was just another internet rumor spiraling out of control. People online had been whispering about Billie Eilish and Drake exchanging late-night texts, but no one had proof. That was until screenshots began circulating on social media. Screenshots that claimed to show Drake sending messages filled with what some fans called suspiciously personal words. The internet didn't waste a second, and within hours, timelines were flooded with hashtags like #DrakeandBillie and #ProtectBillie. But here's where it got even messier. Billie herself stayed completely silent for days. And for an artist who is usually unbothered by internet gossip, her silence made fans nervous. Insiders revealed that she was furious behind the scenes, feeling like her private life had been put on display without her consent. One source even claimed that Billie locked herself in the studio, blasting out lyrics that some say were directly aimed at the controversy. Drama was already brewing when a fan posted a video outside a Los Angeles cafe, catching what appeared to be Billie's brother Phineas confronting her in public. In the shaky clip, Phineas can be heard saying, "This isn't just about you anymore. It's about the family." Billie, visibly emotional, tried to wave off the cameras, but fans immediately began speculating that her brother was pressuring her to make a statement. The family was clearly divided, and the tension was impossible to ignore. And just when people thought it couldn't get any wilder, Drake was spotted at a private event in Toronto, where he appeared unusually tense. Witnesses said he avoided questions about the texting scandal, but his expression told the whole story. One guest at the party described him as restless, constantly checking his phone, and looking like he was waiting for a call that never came. Fans are shocked, because Drake has always been known for controlling his image. Yet here he was, visibly shaken. The fandoms clashed online like never before. Billie's fans accused Drake of overstepping boundaries, while Drake's fans defended him, saying the texts were being taken out of context. Some even speculated that the screenshots were doctored by trolls looking to create chaos. But the real bomb dropped when an anonymous account claimed to be a friend of Billie's inner circle, posting, "You don't even know half the story. Drake wasn't the only one texting her." Cue absolute meltdown. Within minutes, everyone was demanding answers. Who else was texting Billie? Was this a case of mixed messages, or was there a deeper betrayal? Twitter exploded with theories, some fans even dragging other celebrities into the mix, suggesting that Billie was caught in a tangled web of friendships and rivalries no one had seen coming. Meanwhile, Tomlinson was quietly doing his own press rounds for a new project, until one interviewer decided to bring up his One Direction past. What started as a simple question turned into a fiery exchange that had fans replaying the clip over and over. The interviewer asked, "Do you ever feel overshadowed by Harry Styles' success?" And that's when Louis snapped. "I'm so tired of that question," he said sharply, his voice trembling with both anger and hurt. "It's been years, but people still think that's all I am. I'm my own person. I have my own music. And honestly, it's disrespectful to keep comparing us." The studio went silent. and you could practically feel the tension through the screen. Louis leaned forward. His eyes locked on the interviewer and added, "If you can't talk about me without mentioning someone else, maybe you shouldn't be talking to me at all." Fans were instantly divided. Some cheered him on for standing up for himself, while others felt he had crossed a line. But what really fueled the drama was what happened next. Off camera, Louis allegedly stormed out of the room, slamming the door so hard it shook the set. Insiders say the interviewer was left in tears, apologizing to the crew for provoking such a strong reaction. And here's where the stories collide, because while Louis was trending for his meltdown, Billie Eilish finally decided to break her silence. In a late-night Instagram live, her face lit only by the glow of her phone. She whispered, "I don't owe anyone an explanation, but I also can't let people twist my story." Fans held their breath as she scrolled through comments, her hands visibly shaking. Then she said the words that would set the internet on fire. "Drake is my friend. Nothing more, nothing less. If people want to make it weird, that's on them." But her statement didn't calm the storm, it only added fuel. Some fans felt relieved, taking her at her word, while others argued that her tone was defensive, almost like she was hiding something. Conspiracy theories skyrocketed, and even celebrities began weighing in. One pop star tweeted, "Boundaries matter." Even in friendships, and fans were quick to assume it was a subtweet aimed directly at Drake. The pressure on Billie only grew when another leaked clip appeared online, this time allegedly showing her confiding in a close friend during a voice note. In the audio, a voice that sounded like Billie said, "I don't know what to do. If I tell the truth, it'll ruin him. But if I stay quiet, it'll ruin me." Though the authenticity of the clip was never confirmed, it was enough to throw fans into chaos. Meanwhile, Louis was making headlines again. Instead of apologizing for his outburst, he doubled down on social media, tweeting, "I won't stay silent just to keep interviews polite. I'm done being disrespected." His words set off another round of debate, with some praising his bravery, while others accused him of being unprofessional. The fandom was split down the middle, and the arguments only intensified when former One Direction bandmates were dragged into the conversation. Harry Styles. Fans accused Louis of being bitter, while Louis fans insisted he had every right to stand up for himself. One viral post read, "Harry would never stoop this low," while another shot back, "At least Louis is honest." Harry hides behind his silence. The drama between fandoms became so fierce that even neutral fans started muting keywords, just to escape the noise. Through it all, both Billie and Louis seemed to be spiraling in their own ways. Billie posted a series of cryptic photos on her story, one of a broken mirror, another of her sitting alone in a dark room, and finally, a close-up of her tear-streaked face with a caption, "Done." Louis, on the other hand, was spotted at a London pub, looking visibly frustrated as he tried to dodge paparazzi. One photo even showed him flipping off the camera, a gesture that immediately went viral. And then came the first unexpected twist. Rumors began swirling that Louis and Billie had spoken privately. An anonymous account claimed they were seen leaving the same recording studio just hours apart. Fans immediately speculated that they were either collaborating on music or confiding in each other about their respective scandals. Two storms colliding, one fan tweeted, and the phrase quickly became a trending hashtag. The possibility of an alliance between Billie and Louis set the internet ablaze. Some imagined them bonding over shared frustrations with the media, while others suspected a more strategic move, two stars teaming up to take control of their narratives. But what no one expected was that their rumored connection would only add more confusion to the already chaotic stories unfolding. As the world watched closely, both Billie and Louis stood on the brink of decisions that could either save their reputations or drag them further into the drama. The stakes had never been higher, and emotions were at a breaking point as whispers about Billie and Louis secretly meeting at that studio spread. Fans couldn't help but wonder if fate had pulled them together at exactly the right time. Two artists both caught in separate storms, now possibly finding comfort in each other's chaos. Insiders began hinting that what started as a venting session quickly turned into something much deeper. Source close to the situation claimed they bonded instantly. Billie opened up about the Drake drama, and Louis confessed how tired he was of constantly being compared to Harry. It was raw, emotional, and they both felt like the other actually understood. Imagine it, Billie, exhausted from defending her friendships, sitting across from Louis, who was fuming about years of media disrespect. The energy in the room must have been electric, and fans speculated that this could mark the beginning of a shocking new friendship war, maybe even an alliance the industry wasn't ready for. But of course, nothing stays private for long. Within a day, tabloids ran headlines like Billie Eilish and Louis Tomlinson spotted at the same studio. What are they hiding? Suddenly, the narrative shifted. Instead of just being about Drake or about Louis' meltdown, the world was now obsessed with the idea of Billie and Louis joining forces. Twitter erupted with wild theories. One fan joked, "Plot twist. They're dropping a diss track about Drake and Harry." Another chimed in, "I don't care what's happening. I just need them to collab." But beneath the humor, there was tension. Some people accused them of using each other's scandals for publicity, while others insisted their connection was genuine. Drake, meanwhile, wasn't staying silent anymore. During a surprise appearance at a club performance in Toronto, he paused mid-set to say, "Don't believe everything you see online. People will twist friendships into fairy tales just to sell clicks." The crowd cheered, but many fans online saw it as a subtle dig at Billie. Billie's supporters fired back immediately, accusing Drake of gaslighting the situation. One viral comment read, "If it was really innocent, why does he sound so defensive?" Others wondered if Drake's words meant he was jealous of the attention Billie and Louis were suddenly getting together. Emotions ran high, and the fandoms were once again divided. But just when things seemed to be spinning out of control, another bombshell dropped. A video leaked, allegedly recorded at the studio, capturing muffled voices that sounded suspiciously like Billie and Louis arguing. Though the clip was grainy and hard to hear, fans dissected every second dot in the clip. A voice believed to be Louis shouted, "You don't get it. You think this is just about you, but it's bigger than that." Another voice, which many swore was Billie, shot back, "I never asked for this. I never wanted to be dragged into your drama." The internet exploded. What had started as whispers of a supportive friendship now seemed to be unraveling into conflict. Fans were heartbroken, tweeting things like, "Not them fighting already? My heart can't take this." Others speculated that the argument wasn't personal, but about how to handle the media frenzy. Either way, the drama had reached a boiling point. Finn has entered the conversation again when paparazzi caught him leaving a grocery store, visibly annoyed as reporters bombarded him with questions. One shouted, "Is Billie fighting with Louis?" And Phineas, without missing a beat, muttered, "This is ridiculous. Leave her alone." But his irritated response only fueled speculation that he disapproved of her newfound connection with Louis, as if things weren't dramatic enough. An anonymous email was sent to a major gossip site claiming that Billie's family is worried Louis is a bad influence on her. According to the message, Billie's loved ones feared that aligning with Louis during such a turbulent time could harm her image even more. Fans were shocked, and the family divide suddenly became public knowledge. On Louis' side, things weren't any calmer. The interviewer he had lashed out at gave an emotional statement on her podcast, saying, "I never intended to disrespect him. I admire his work, but his anger was terrifying." The clip went viral, and critics began labeling Louis as volatile and unprofessional. His fans fought back fiercely, insisting that he had every right to defend himself. But the damage was already done, and then came another twist that no one saw coming. During a late-night Instagram Live, a fan asked Billie point-blank if she was still friends with Drake. Instead of giving a clear answer, Billie just stared at the screen for a long, silent moment before finally saying, "Things change. People change." She ended the live immediately afterward, leaving fans in shock. The internet lit up with reactions. Some said her silence spoke louder than words, while others argued she was deliberately being cryptic to keep people guessing. One fan wrote, "She basically just confirmed something happened. We're not stupid," while another defended her, saying she owes us nothing. Stop prying into her life. But the tension between Billie and Drake was undeniable now. Within hours, Drake posted a cryptic story of his own a black screen with the words, "Loyalty is everything." No tags, no explanation, just raw emotion. It felt like a direct response to Billie, and fans were convinced this was the beginning of an all-out feud as the online wars raged on. Louis decided to take control of his narrative in the most unexpected way. He released a snippet of an unreleased track on his Instagram story, and fans immediately noticed the lyrics. "They compare me to ghosts of the past, but I'm alive. I'm here. I'll outlast." The raw emotion in his voice had fans in tears, and many saw it as his way of clapping back at the comparisons to Harry.Billie. On the other hand, seemed to be spiraling. Paparazzi photos showed her looking distraught while leaving a car late at night, her hood pulled low over her face. Insiders claimed she was exhausted from the nonstop drama and unsure how to move forward. One friend reportedly said she feels like no matter what she says, people will twist it, and just when everyone thought the chaos had peaked. A shocking rumor surfaced. Drake was allegedly preparing to release a track of his own, one that insiders described as a subtle but undeniable reference to the scandal. Fans braced themselves for what could become the most explosive musical feud of the year. Meanwhile, Louis and Billie were spotted again, this time at a private London restaurant. Though they weren't photographed together, eyewitnesses swore they were seated at adjacent tables and spent hours talking quietly. Some fans speculated this was their way of strategizing, while others believed it was simply two friends trying to support each other during a crisis. The drama only deepened when an alleged insider leaked. They're planning something big. And it's not just music. Fans couldn't stop guessing. Was it a joint interview to clear the air? Or were they plotting to expose people who had betrayed them? Theories ran wild, and the suspense grew unbearable. Across social media, hashtags like #BillieandLewis and #Drake, these Billie started trending worldwide. Emotions ran high, friendships online were tested, and even celebrities started taking sides. One actor tweeted, "When will the industry stop pitting young artists against each other?" While another artist posted, "Sometimes silence is the loudest response." Every cryptic post, every subtle word became fuel for the fire. The story had taken on a life of its own, spiraling far beyond a few leaked texts or a heated interview. Now, it was about loyalty, respect, family, and the fragile balance between personal lives and public expectations. And as the walls closed in, both Billie and Louis knew they couldn't stay silent forever. With Drake hinting at music, with Louis releasing powerful lyrics, and with Billie caught in the middle of a storm she never asked for, the stage was set for the next twist, one that would leave fans questioning everything. They thought they knew. It all came to a head when Billie made her first major public appearance since the controversy, stepping onto the red carpet at a high-profile fashion gala in New York. The air was electric, cameras flashing from every angle, and fans waited with bated breath to see if she would finally address the drama in person. She walked slowly, dressed in a striking black gown that fans immediately described as armor-like, as if she was bracing herself for battle. Interviewers tried to keep questions light, but one daring reporter asked, "Billie, have you spoken to Drake since the controversy?" The crowd hushed. Billie paused, stared at the microphone, and then simply said, "I think some people show their true colors when the spotlight's on them." That one line sent shockwaves across social media, interpreted as a dagger aimed straight at Drake. But the drama didn't stop there. Just minutes later, Louis Tomlinson appeared on the same carpet, dressed casually compared to the glittering crowd. Fans were stunned. Was it just coincidence? Or had the two planned to make their first public statements on the same night? The energy spiked when paparazzi captured Billie and Louis, exchanging a quick nod from across the room. One journalist described it as a silent confirmation that they're united backstage. Whispers grew louder that Drake himself was expected to make an appearance later in the evening. Insiders claimed organizers were nervous, fearing an explosive confrontation between the three stars. Fans online couldn't contain themselves, tweeting things like, "This feels like the season finale of a reality show, and I can't believe we're witnessing history." Sure enough, Drake did arrive, his expression unreadable as he posed for photos. He wore a sleek suit, his demeanor calm but icy. It didn't take long for tabloids to report that Billie refused to be in the same room with him. Avoiding any overlap during the event, an anonymous source said they kept them on separate sides of the venue to prevent any scenes. But the tension was undeniable, and fans were buzzing with anticipation of what might happen next. And then, the confrontation everyone feared actually happened. A leaked video from the afterparty showed Louis and Drake locked in a heated exchange. Though the audio was muffled, fans dissected every gesture, claiming Louis pointed angrily while Drake shook his head in disbelief. At one point, Louis could be seen mouthing the words, "Don't you dare mess with her." The clip went viral instantly, sparking endless debates about whether Louis had officially taken Billie's side against Drake. The fandom wars erupted into chaos. Billie's fans praised Louis for defending her, dubbing him a protective brother figure, while Drake's supporters accused Louis of inserting himself into drama that wasn't his. One viral tweet summed it up. "This is no longer Billie versus Drake. It's Louis versus Drake, and Billie is caught in the middle." But the emotional toll on Billie was becoming impossible to ignore. The following day, she posted a photo on her Instagram story of a torn notebook page with the words, "I'm tired of fighting battles I never started." The post vanished after 10 minutes, but not before thousands of fans screenshotted it and spread it across the internet. Emotions ran high as fans worried about her well-being. Finn, as once again dragged into the mess, took to Twitter with a cryptic message of his own. "Sometimes the people who shout the loudest aren't the ones who care the most." Though he didn't mention names, fans were convinced he was shading Louis for escalating the fight. The family divide had spilled into the public eye, and the Eilish fandom was torn between supporting Billie's independence and siding with Finneas' protective instincts, as if things weren't messy enough. A shocking rumor emerged from an insider close to Drake, claiming that the texts between him and Billie had been wildly misinterpreted and that the screenshots spreading online were taken out of context from a much larger conversation. This source insisted Drake had done nothing wrong and that he was being unfairly vilified. Fans didn't know who to believe anymore, and the narrative grew murkier by the hour. Then came the twist no one expected. Leaked audio of what appeared to be Billie and Louis in the studio again. But this time, instead of arguing, they were singing together. The short clip showcased haunting harmonies over a melancholic beat, and fans went absolutely feral. Hashtags like #BILLIX Louis and #healing through music trended worldwide, as people speculated that the two had turned their pain into art. But even that moment of hope turned sour. Drake's camp allegedly reached out to journalists, suggesting that Billie was using Louis as a shield to distract from the controversy. Insiders claim Drake felt betrayed by her new alliance and was prepared to clear his name through music. Rumors swirled that his upcoming track would contain thinly veiled references not only to Billie but also to Louis. Emotions ran even higher when Louis finally addressed the leaked confrontation video during a radio appearance. "Look," he said, voice strained, "I don't go looking for fights. But if I see someone being disrespected, I won't stand by quietly. That's who I am." His words sent fans into a frenzy, many hailing him as a hero for standing up to Drake. But others criticized him, accusing him of using Billie's struggles to boost his own relevance. The backlash grew when Harry Styles' key name once again got dragged into the mess. A journalist asked Harry in passing if he had seen the Louis-Drake confrontation, and Harry simply smiled and said, "No comment." That two-word response set off another firestorm, with fans debating whether his silence was shade, support, or simply avoidance. Louis? Supporters claimed Harry's refusal to defend his former bandmate proved the media had divided them beyond repair. Meanwhile, Billie was spotted boarding a flight to London, sparking theories that she was meeting Louis again. Fans speculated they were preparing to release the full version of their leaked song as a statement. Others worried she was running away from the chaos in America. Either way, the world's eyes were glued to her every move. The chaos reached its peak when Drake dropped a cryptic teaser video on his social media. It featured him sitting alone in a dark studio, staring into the camera as a slow beat played. He didn't say a word, but at the end of the clip, the words soon flashed across the screen. Fans lost their minds. Was this his way of promising a diss track aimed at Billie and Louis? Billie's fandom panicked, worried that the upcoming song would tarnish her reputation even further. Others were excited, eager to see how she might respond musically. Insiders close to Billie claimed she was terrified of what Drake might say, but also determined not to let him control the narrative. One source revealed she's been writing like crazy, pouring all her emotions into new music. This could either destroy her or make her stronger than ever. As the storm raged, one thing became clear. The drama had grown far bigger than any of the stars could have imagined. What started with a few leaked texts had spiraled into a full-blown feud involving music, family loyalty, and the fragile line between friendship and betrayal. Billie stood at a crossroads, torn between silence and self-expression. Louis was locked in a war to reclaim his respect while defending her in the process. Drake was preparing to drop what could be a career-defining track, and the fans. They were bracing themselves for the next shocking twist, knowing deep down that the story was nowhere near over. The internet practically broke when Drake finally dropped his highly anticipated track. At midnight, without warning, the song appeared on streaming platforms. And within minutes, fans were dissecting every lyric. The beat was moody, heavy with tension, and the words, they were laced with shades so sharp that listeners gasped aloud. One line in particular stood out. Loyalty fades when the cameras flash. Some friends trade truth for a quick backlash, while Drake never mentioned names. Fans were convinced this was about Billie. Another verse seemed aimed at Louis, with Drake rapping, "Talk loud" in the corner. But silence in the charts. Don't step to a king if you're scared of the parts. The implications were crystal clear, and emotions ran high as both fandoms clashed violently online. Billie's supporters called the track petty and accused Drake of weaponizing his music to humiliate her. Louis fans defended him fiercely, tweeting things like, "At least Louis has integrity. Drake hides behind rhymes." But Drake's fans praised the song as a bold clapback, saying he had every right to defend himself after weeks of being dragged. Billie, however, was devastated. Insiders claimed she listened to the track alone in her room, crying silently as the lyrics confirmed her worst fears. One friend allegedly said she feels like he betrayed her twice, first with the texts. Now, with this public attack, the family was left divided once again, with Phineas urging her not to respond and to let the drama die out, while other friends encouraged her to stand up for herself. But Billie wasn't the only one reeling. Louis, upon hearing the song, reportedly stormed into his management office, demanding to release the full version of his track with Billie immediately. "I'm not letting him walk all over us," he shouted, according to an insider. "He thinks we'll stay quiet, but he has no idea what's coming." 2 days later, the internet witnessed another explosion. Billie and Louis dropped their collaboration, titled "Shadows and Scars." The track was haunting, vulnerable, and deeply emotional. Instead of a direct diss, it was a raw reflection on betrayal, broken trust, and the pain of being misunderstood. One line sung by Billie pierced through the noise. "You said I was safe, but you left me in flames." Louis' verse followed with equal intensity. "They compare me to ghosts, but I'm still alive, still fighting." Fans were floored. The song trended worldwide within hours, with millions praising it as a masterpiece born from chaos. Critics called it a powerful reclamation of their narratives, and even neutral. Listeners admitted the emotional weight of the track was undeniable. Drake's reaction was swift. He posted a story with a laughing emoji and the words, "cute." Fans were outraged, accusing him of dismissing their pain. Billie's followers flooded his comments with snake emojis, while Louis fans warned him to back off. The tension was unbearable, and the feud had officially become one of the most talked about in recent music history. As the dust settled from the song's release, a new twist emerged. A leaked text thread, allegedly between Drake and a mutual friend, surfaced, where Drake appeared to say, "They'll regret dragging me into this. I made them, and I can break them." Though authenticity couldn't be verified, the leak fueled the narrative that Drake was on a power trip, determined to dominate the situation. Billie, perhaps feeling the weight of the world on her shoulders, made a surprise appearance at a small London concert, performing Shadows and Scars live for the first time. The intimate crowd described her as shaking but powerful, her voice cracking with emotion as Louis stood beside her on stage. Fans in the audience sobbed openly, chanting their names in solidarity. Clips from the performance went viral, with captions like, "This is what healing looks like, and they turned pain into art." But behind the scenes, insiders claimed Billie and Louis weren't as united as they appeared. Whispers suggested they had clashed over how far to take the feud, with Billie fearing her reputation could be permanently damaged, while Louis wanted to keep pushing back harder. One insider put it bluntly, "She wants peace. He wants war." The tension spilled into the open when, during a late-night Instagram Q&A, Louis responded to a fan asking if he and Billie were okay. He replied, "We're fine, but sometimes people need different things. I respect that, though vague." Fans immediately assumed it confirmed there was a rift between them. Drama aside, the public began choosing sides in more polarized ways than ever. Some praised Louis as Billie's knight in shining armor, while others criticized him for dragging her deeper into the feud. Some defended Drake, arguing he had been unfairly demonized from the start. Emotions ran so high that entire online communities fractured. Friendships broke, and the fandoms were left divided in ways that seemed irreparable. Phineas finally broke his silence in a rare interview, saying, "My only concern is my sister's mental health. Music is great, drama sells, but at the end of the day, she's a human being who deserves peace." His words struck a chord, reminding fans of the real toll the chaos was taking. Many rallied behind Billie, sending messages of love and support, while others accused Phineas of subtly shading Louis again. And then came the most shocking twist of all. At an awards show weeks later, all three, Billie, Louis, and Drake, were present in the same room for the first time since the feud exploded. Fans watching from home held their breath as the camera panned between them throughout the night. Billie looked tense, barely smiling. Louis appeared defiant, clapping aggressively when Billie's name was mentioned, but refusing to acknowledge Drake. Drake, on the other hand, looked unbothered, laughing and mingling as though nothing had happened. The climax arrived when Billie won an award for Shadows and Scars, as she walked to the stage with Louis at her side. The crowd erupted in applause. She took the mic, tears glistening in her eyes, and said, "This song came from a place of pain, but tonight it feels like healing. Thank you for listening." The moment was powerful, raw, and emotional until the camera cut to Drake, who was smirking in his seat. Fans lost their minds. The split-screen image of Billie in tears and Drake smirking became the meme of the year, cementing the feud in pop culture history. Some called Drake's smirk iconic, others labeled it cruel. Either way, the drama had reached its peak. In the weeks that followed, all three stars retreated from the spotlight. Billie focused on touring, pouring her emotions into every performance. Louis quietly teased more music, determined to prove himself on his own terms. Drake vanished into the studio, rumors swirling about yet another track in the works. But one thing was certain: the scars left by this feud would not fade quickly. Friendships were tested, families were shaken, fandoms were fractured, and the industry itself was left questioning how far public drama should go. Fans are still divided, unsure if reconciliation is possible or if the story will only spiral into another shocking chapter. The saga of Billie. Louis and Drake had become more than a scandalette, was a cultural moment. A messy, emotional roller coaster that blurred the lines between music, loyalty, and betrayal. And while the world waited for the next move, one haunting question lingered in everyone's mind. Was this the end, or just the beginning? And there you have it. What started with a few leaked texts spiraled into one of the most explosive celebrity sagas of the year. Billie Eilish, caught between loyalty and betrayal. Drake, determined to defend his reputation no matter the cost, and Louis Tomlinson, stepping into the firestorm with a boldness that shocked fans and critics alike. Emotions ran high, friendships were tested, families were dragged into the chaos, and the fandoms, they're still completely divided. But even after all the confrontations, cryptic posts, leaked songs, and award show tension, the questions remain. Will Billie and Drake ever repair their broken friendship? Is Louis truly her ally? Or has the feud put too much strain on their rumored bond? And what about the music? Will these scars turn into timeless art or fade into forgotten drama? Fans are shocked. The industry is buzzing, and insiders swear this story isn't over yet. Because in the world of pop culture, drama never really ends, it just takes on a new form. It's a new twist, waiting to explode when we least expect it. Now we want to hear from you. Whose side are you on in this saga? Do you think Billie was right to break her silence, or should she have stayed quiet? Was Louis a hero for standing up, or did he escalate the drama too far? And what do you make of Drake's diss track bold move, or crossing the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because trust me, this debate is far from finished. And if you loved diving into all the twists and turns with us, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another update. The drama is only getting started, and you won't want to miss what happens next.